quick video. Talking point, and I've addressed this plenty of times, and some of you guys know this, but some of you don't seem to understand what's going on here. And activism has certainly been the new thing to do. We did that video and we discussed how it seems that from a cultural standpoint, the West, if you will, in America, let's say that, moved backwards in terms of race and how it plays on the culture, right? Like you had that brief period of time where people enjoyed all things, a lot of different things, and that wouldn't mean that there weren't activists. It wouldn't mean that there weren't racism that existed, but we certainly seem to get over that hump when you consider America's history. And a lot of people were more not even just open, like interactive and sociable, and just we weren't worried about that as much as we are now, which though we've advanced, we've seen to move backwards in that regard. See, what you need to understand is that activism is one of those things that a lot of useless people, and I mean this in the most blunt way possible, it gives them meaning. We talked about this the other day on the show before. If you're watching us, you should be watching us at 12 p.m. Central throughout the week. And we discussed how a lot of young folk, and when I say young folk, I'm including myself and younger, people that would generally be, no matter what, millennials or even younger, especially younger. And you see all of these folks when it comes to these different protests and all these different forms of activism now that they feel like they have to use. This is why they hijack some of the properties that you guys know and love and grew up on, and then they run them into the ground because they want to emphasize and hyper-emphasize more so their political and social preferences, because that's important to them, right? And they feel like they have to do that, like that's a necessary thing. It's because they have no meaning in their own personal accomplishments. Right? And this is something sort of just manifests itself in this way. Now, it's been fostered by a lot of different avenues, particularly with academia and how we've forced people into these indoctrination camps, not just with K through 12, but especially at the university level, that people now, they're getting all these worthless degrees and what have you for jobs that don't even exist and piling up all massive amounts of debt. And unfortunately, we've fostered this culture where that is now manifest, where people go seek meaning in things that have nothing to do with actually being productive, and of value to the common man. That's what being in a market you think would be prioritized, but these people don't have that, right? Now, when I talk about that and what life is about for a lot of people, and it is about fulfillment, and I understand that, but for fulfillment for a lot of people of course it's not the same thing, which is why you have people that are rich that are miserable, people that are poor that are miserable, and the opposite, people that are poor that are miserable, people that are rich that are just that are not, right, that love their life. I probably misstated that, but you get it. It's people among the different economic spectrums that are comfortable and happy with their life, where you have a bunch of pill poppers of all different ages who can't seem to get through the day without feeling some kind of way. Right? And that's a fulfillment thing. And I'm not here to get too philosophical or psychological with it, which I know I've already had, but attempting to tap into the psyche of a lot of these people, you understand that why this, like the virtue signaling and all of that stuff, is so attractive to these types, and why they do it so often and it comes off as cringy and really lame and corny. Well, it's because that's what they feel gives them this sense of belonging. A lot of folks, at least people, are miserable people, man. They are miserable, lousy, unproductive, loser people. Straight up. I mean, that's the only way that I can say that, is to be completely honest with it, in which they don't have that self-fulfillment. They don't have that that self-reliance, in a sense that they can control what is around them, and that in itself can help their own esteem. No. It's that these people feel like they have to be part of something bigger. So they will conjure up enemies. This is what one of the most popular tactics, in which they make them up. It's the enemy's invisible, right? So racism, which is not, again, you can't say that it doesn't exist. Of course it exists, but to the degree, no. Of course, the demand for it far outweighs the supply. You look at something like what you would think as a generally a bad thing. You look at that like, wow, why would people want that to exist? Well, because they have nothing else. So they have to fight this invisible enemy. You have to treat the world as if there's a Klansman around every corner, basically, that's out to get you. Definitely if you're a non-white person. They have to do that sort of stuff. Or the hyperemphasis of gender and sexuality and all of that sort of stuff. And now you're hurting people. And people have to, they want to feel like they have not just a sense of belonging, but they want to feel like what they're doing is part of a larger narrative here. So you wonder why something so silly like a Juicy Smollett, famous French actor, for those of you that don't know, could sit up there and make up a story, which I don't think people understand how bad that actually was. Completely made up a story about him being attacked by guys in MAGA hats. Like, you got to understand, crying, doing all of these media tours and what have you. Like, you have to understand why something like that's evil, right? Because you look at racism and something like that happening as a very bad thing. And unfortunately, because the demand far outweighs the supply, these people then have to make situations up. This is why, if you actually look it up, the numerous amounts of fake hate crimes that exist out there, these guys want to feel like martyrs. They want to feel like, let's say, that they had some sort of sacrifice, bravery to be part of a grand. All of that ties in from that to the actual activism. Well, people sit up here and feel as if they have to signal or feel as if they have to march every day because of injustices that supposedly exist, not in the way that they say, of course, because the main injustice, rather, you got to look at the state, and a lot of these people are state worshipers, and they feel like the state can be used to navigate and do whatever it is that they want. So they love that. They're a lot of the cases the propaganda wing. But these are very emotional people that don't have belonging. So they have to create invisible, fake enemies to be part of something greater, because they can't be a part of something great that exists within their own sort of space, like that they had a hand in creating. No. Like the only thing they'll create now is just an invisible enemy that simply is not there. Well, again, the demand far outweighs the supply in a lot of these instances. So you wonder, like, dang, everybody's an activist. Everybody's an activist now. You know, everybody feels like, from the big companies to small companies, every individual feels as if you think, man, this should have been easy to stomp out considering how many people are against that. Yeah, imagine saying racism is bad in 2021. It's such an easy position to have. Yeah, I mean, what are you doing? Yeah, congratulations, you're not racist. Like, most of us aren't. Right? We've already been through that. But these guys have no sense of belonging. A lot of them are losers, so they seek activism. And this is why they will continue to run some of your entertainment stuff into the ground. When you try to escape from that, no, because this is all they know. They have no talent. That's all they know.